It has also made the Turkish and Syrian earthquake victims particularly vulnerable to this kind of insensitive and hurtful satire that seeks to gain cheap laughs out of the still flowing wounds of the innocent. Moreover, the magazine's actions are obviously a manifestation of rampant hatred for Muslims. The rising anti-Muslim sentiment is a growing problem in France and many other Western countries, characterized by a totally irrational fear and hatred of Islam and Muslims. This fear and hatred is often fueled by negative stereotypes and misinformation, and it is a major contributor to the marginalization and discrimination faced by Muslims, not only in France, but even further afield. Making fun of the Turkish and Syrian earthquake victims, Charlie Hebdo is not only perpetuating these negative stereotypes, but it is also contributing to the already widespread anti-Muslim hatred in France and beyond. Take, for example, the caption referenced in the caricature. The cartoonists take particular glee at the destruction wrought against largely Muslim people and explain how they didn't even need to send tanks. In other words, they are giddy with delight to see destruction inflicted upon Muslims, the likes of which a devastating war would bring. Making fun of people in the aftermath of a tragedy is never acceptable. For example, when Kabul itself was attacked in 2015, Turks, neither at the state level nor even on a social level, did not engage in wholesale mockery. To the contrary, it dispatched its top diplomats to Paris in a show of solidarity with France against terrorism. The victims of yesterday's earthquake have suffered great loss and trauma, and they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Making fun of their suffering is not only vile, but it also sends a message that their lives and experiences are not worth valuing or respecting, and neither are those of their families and loved ones. This kind of message is particularly harmful in the context of French and wider Western society that is already deeply divided along racial and religious lines. Satire is a powerful tool, and it can have profound impact on the people it targets, as well as public perceptions. Satire is often used to challenge power and to expose injustice and hypocrisy. However, when satire is used to make fun of people who are already marginalized and vulnerable, it only serves to further harm them. This is especially true when the people being targeted are the victims of a tragedy, as they are already in a state of extreme vulnerability and distress. And punching down on the vulnerable is never a good look, not to mention woefully immoral. Then again, this is hardly new to Charlie Hebdo, a truly disgusting publication that even thought it was both appropriate and funny to make jokes about Italian earthquake victims as different types of pasta in 2016. Also in 2016, who can forget how the magazine showed they lacked anything remotely resembling humanity and decency when they made fun of the corpse of the 2-year-old Alan Kurdi, a Syrian refugee who drowned in the sea as his family attempted to escape war and bloodshed. On the flip side, Charlie Hebdo wanted the entire world to cry with it and France when they were subjected to attack, but felt it is appropriate to plug moral depths that include laughing at death and destruction afflicting Muslims. When anyone is that morally bankrupt, I think it is safe to say that magazines like Charlie Hebdo are nothing more than a cheap rag designed to get laughs out of the likes of far-right fascists who were drowned in Muslim blood. While Kahramanmaraş is literally named for its heroism, the virtue it currently has on full display and that is replicated across the entire disaster zone, Charlie Hebdo will forever go down in history for its villainy. And despite all the pain we are all feeling, that is an equation I can live with. The viewpoints expressed by the authors do not necessarily reflect the opinions, viewpoints, and editorial policies of TRT World. We welcome all pitches and submissions to TRT World Opinion. Please send them via email to opinion.editorial@trtworld.com. This week's commentary was penned by Mr. Talha Abdulrazak, who is an award-winning academic and writer with a specialism in Middle Eastern strategic and security affairs. Until next week, goodbye. Weekly Commentary.
Feeling supreme.
Welcome to our program, The Healing Spring. Our topic for today is the tips for choosing the right shoes for babies. Shoe is a clothing product that supports the orthopedic development of the baby and should be chosen correctly. A baby whose body is changing and developing rapidly will need a shoe that will ensure that its steps are firmly on the ground as it starts walking. The decision whether to rush for shoes or not actually depends on seasonal and external factors. If the first steps coincide with the summer period, it may be meaningful to spend time with bare feet and socks for a while. If it coincides with the winter period, it makes sense to protect the foot from the adverse weather conditions. At this point, the shoes purchased do not have to be used continuously. It is recommended to use the shoes when you go out and need protection from environmental factors. How should baby shoes be? It must be the correct size firstly. In order to be able to choose the right size, shoes should be bought not in the first hours of the morning, as in adults, but in the afternoon when the feet collect water. It should not be forgotten that in children, feet grow up to 2 sizes each year. For this reason, it is very important to check every 3 months that the shoe you bought is not small and that it provides enough space for the development of the foot. Length test. Press the front of the shoe to check the distance between your baby's big toe and the tip of the shoe. Your baby's toe should neither touch the front nor be too far from the tip of the shoe. A half centimeter gap would be ideal. Choose shoes that are at least half a size larger than your child's foot, allowing room to accommodate the growing foot. This distance will be suitable for finger development and movement. It has to have plenty of space to put your little finger in from the heel point. Grip test. While the baby is wearing the shoes, determine the position of the toes by pressing the sides of the shoes with your hand. As with the length test, the foot should not be touching the edges. Heel test. Move his or her foot up and down the shoe. If your baby's feet move freely but the shoes do not come off, you have chosen an ideal size shoe. If the foot does not move in the shoe at all or comes out of the shoe while moving, this shoe is not the right choice in terms of size. Other details. Before focusing on color, model and brand, it will be right to focus on the basics. Our goal should be to find a product that will not affect our child's foot development and that it can use easily. In order to prevent tripping, make sure that the sole of the shoe is flat and non-slippery. A shoe that has a very hard sole, that does not bend according to the shape of the feet, that does not take shape, restricts the baby's mobility and causes damage to the skeletal and muscular system. The toe of a first step shoe should be able to bend at least 40 degrees. For this reason, when buying, the shoes should be bought and their flexibility should be measured. You should pay attention to the material from which the shoes are made. You can choose comfortable models with a soft upper part made of leather. In summer, organic mesh, cotton or canvas models can also be preferred. Hard leather and synthetic materials should be avoided. You should avoid materials such as rubber and plastic that will prevent your baby's feet from breathing, sweat or damage them. It will be more beneficial to choose shoes that can provide air circulation. Serious problems such as fungus and odor occur in airtight feet. Flexible and lightweight models with a lower base that will not hinder the ability to move and support natural movement are suitable. The baby already wobbles while walking and runs the risk of falling in a small disruption. With a heavy shoe, this tough job becomes even harder for the baby. That is why you should choose a light shoe to make the job easier and to prevent unnecessary effort. Lace-up or Velcro models with adjustable lace-up fastening features can be selected. Models that are not rigid but can provide protection and support are available. In addition to all these features, it is important that there are no beads or different aesthetic elements that your child can easily peel off and swallow in the shoe model to be purchased. Even though a shoe suitable for all these features may be purchased, if your child is unhappy and restless with the current shoe, it is important to switch to a different model. This program was written by Dr. Emirler. Until we meet again, stay healthy, stay happy. Supreme.
Between us, Koydu sarayım, baykuşlar tünedi yar yar olmaz değil.
You have been listening to the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission broadcasting from Ankara in the 25-meter band between 1330 and 1430 UTC on 12035 kHz to Europe, and in the 49-meter band between 1930 2030 UTC on 6050 kHz to Europe. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 0400 hours 0500 hours UTC in the 49-meter band and on 6125 kHz to Europe, the USA, Eastern Canada, and Cuba, between 0400 and 0500 UTC in the 41-meter band on 7285 kHz to Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr. Thanks for listening to the Voice of Turkey and goodbye.